what inspired you, or what motivated you to get into the research of dementia and the relationship with stress?
So actually, when I was looking at schizophrenia and stress, I had a whole of lifespan point of view from the very start. The very first research I did on schizophrenia, we were looking at stress hormone signaling pathways in the brain across through the whole lifespan, from individuals who are 2 months old through to people who are 80 years old. And we saw very dynamic changes in how our stress system is composed at a molecular level. So I always had a sense that stress was important through the whole of the lifespan. And incidentally, the first, I mentioned Emil Kraepelin, when he defined psychotic illness, he actually called it dementia praecox, which just meant kind of deteriorating brain function prematurely. And so I've moved from studying dementia praecox to studying dementia and focusing on later life decline in cognitive function. Because in fact, when the entire population in the world is getting better at living healthy lives, we're getting older. We're living to an older age, and our chances of getting dementia are growing and growing as a society, and that's important to tackle. Each individual person who's 90 isn't necessarily more likely to get dementia, but many, many more of us live to 90.
Yeah.
And so it's vital that we tackle dementia. It's really profoundly important.
So I always heard that dementia was a hereditary sort of thing. Is it not so much a hereditary thing? It's more of a brain deterioration thing?
Well, there would be elements of both. So some types of dementia have very, very strong genetic components. There are younger onset Alzheimer's disease, for example, which has almost exclusively a genetic underpinning. And you can get tested. We know there are genes involved in processing of this protein called amyloid beta, which I mentioned earlier. If you have a problem with that processing pathway, you are highly likely to develop younger onset dementia. Other types of dementia, like frontotemporal dementia, also have some strong genetic components. But for many people, where there's no history in your family that we know of, and that's where environmental influences like stress or like obesity or cardiovascular disease or smoking or midlife hypertension, that's where all of those things come in. And those are things we can change. We can make a difference to our hypertension in our midlife, and we can try and make a difference to our overall health by doing more exercise and building up our social connectedness with our friends and family. And we can try and decrease our stress and recognize when we're stressed and potentially decrease our dementia risk.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my head.